Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping straight into artificial intelligence, and especially ChatGPT. You've probably used it, definitely heard about it, maybe wondered what it really is and what it means for all of us. This deep dive is for you.
Absolutely. We've gone through a ton of research, academic papers, public chatter, really trying to pull out the key insights for you. We'll cover how these systems get built, some, frankly, incredible applications, but also the big challenges and ethical stuff that comes with it.
Right. Our mission here is to unpack the basics, show you some surprising ways it's already impacting the world, and get into those big questions AI raises. Hopefully you'll walk away feeling genuinely informed. So let's start at the beginning, the building blocks of AI. What are we actually talking about here?
Well, at its core, AI is about simulating intelligence, right? It tackles smaller problems like reasoning, learning, machine perception.
Like computers seeing or understanding speech?
Yeah. Exactly. Computer vision, speech recognition. And a huge part of that is machine learning, or ML. ML systems aren't explicitly programmed for every task. They actually learn and improve on their own.
How does that work? Is it all the same kind of learning?
Not quite. There are two main flavors you hear about. First, supervised learning. Think of it like using flashcards with the answers on the back. You feed the AI labeled data. This input means that output. It's great for things like classifying emails as spam or not spam.
Okay, so it learns from examples with known answers.
Yeah.
What's the other type?
That's unsupervised learning. Here you just give the AI a bunch of data without any labels, and it has to find patterns or structures all by itself, like maybe figuring out different customer groups from sales data without being told what groups to look for.
Got it. And where do things like neural networks and deep learning fit in? That sounds more complex.
It is, kind of. Artificial neural networks, ANNs, are inspired by the brain interconnected nodes processing information. Deep learning uses ANNs with many layers, deep layers.
Layers. What do they do?
Each layer learns to recognize different features, building complexity. So maybe the first layer spots simple edges in a picture. The next layer combines edges into shapes. And, further layers might recognize objects or even faces. It gets progressively more abstract.
And this suddenly took off, didn't it? Why now?
Yeah, it feels sudden, but the ideas aren't new. Some go way back. The breakthrough was really about two things. First, massive increases in computing power, especially GPUs, graphics cards, which made training feasible. And second, huge data sets becoming available, like ImageNet for images. The AI just had so much more to learn from.
Okay, that makes sense. So bringing it to today, how does ChatGPT use all this?
Right, ChatGPT is a perfect example. It's built on these large language models, the GPT series, but it's specifically fine-tuned for conversation. It uses supervised learning, but also this clever technique called reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF. Basically, humans rank its responses, teaching it what sounds good and helpful.
And it's not just text anymore, is it?
No, that's a huge leap. Newer models are multimodal. They can process and generate text, images, even sound. It makes them way more versatile.
Which explains the impact we're seeing everywhere.
Definitely. In healthcare, look at AlphaFold 2 predicting protein structures. That used to take ages, now it's hours. It's speeding up drug discovery for things like Parkinson's.
Wow. What about other areas?
Military uses it for intelligence analysis, command systems, autonomous vehicles. Agriculture is using it too, predicting crop ripening, checking soil moisture, spotting pests. It's really broad.
Even in law. I heard about some interesting cases there.
Yeah, mixed bag is putting it mildly. A judge in Pakistan apparently used it for a bail decision. But then you have U.S. lawyers getting sanctioned because ChatGPT literally invented fake legal cases for their motion.
Ouch. So, great for maybe brainstorming or outlines, but you still need that human check for accuracy and, well, reality.
Absolutely critical. Which brings us neatly to the challenges. That lawyer example highlights hallucinations, the AI just confidently making stuff up.
That seems like a pretty big flaw.
It is. Another is algorithmic bias. AI learns from data, and if that data reflects societal biases, the AI learns them too, even if you try to hide things like race or gender. We've seen language models produce biased text, unfortunately. It shows the data problem is deep.
And it's hard to know why it says what it says, right? The black box problem.
Exactly. Lack of transparency. We often can't trace the AI's reasoning, which makes it hard to trust, especially for high-stakes decisions. That's why there's a push for explainable AI.
Plus, privacy and copyright must be huge issues when you're training on, the whole internet.
Huge. Where does all that data come from? Is it used ethically? Does it infringe on copyright? big questions. And don't forget the energy cost.
Energy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Training these models takes enormous amounts of electricity. One ChatGPT search uses maybe 10 times the power of a Google search. Tech companies are actually investing in things like nuclear power, partly because of this.
That's wild. And then there's the impact on jobs.
A very real concern, particularly for certain middle-class jobs. There was a report that maybe 70% of video game illustrators in China saw impacts. And of course, the risk of misuse is always there.
Misuse like deepfakes, misinformation.
Deepfakes, spreading disinformation, cybercrime, even enhancing state surveillance like facial recognition systems. The potential downsides are serious.
Okay, so given all that, how do we move forward? How do you, the listener, navigate this?
Well, for users, learning prompt engineering is becoming key. It's about getting good at telling the AI exactly what you want, giving it context, examples. It's a skill.
Like learning to communicate effectively with it.
Pretty much. And on a bigger scale, regulation is ramping up. Way more AI laws are being passed globally now than just a few years ago.
International efforts, too.
Yes, bodies like the Council of Europe are working on treaties, like one focused on AI and human rights. Public opinion is still forming, but many people, at least in the U.S., see potential risks.
So wrapping this up, what's the takeaway? AI is incredibly powerful, moving super fast, huge potential benefits, but also, clearly, some significant hurdles, ethical, practical.
It really leaves you with a question, doesn't it? As AI weaves itself into, well, everything, how do we strike that balance? How do we harness the potential while building in safeguards, ethics, and keeping humans in the loop? What part of that challenge stands out most to you as needing our focus right now? Something to think about.